Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Peak Martial Arts Team Stick Sparring League, the PMA TSSL. I hope you're all as excited as I am as we dive into yet another matchup today. All right, we're going to be having the Black Bears taking on the Snow Leopards, and I tell you what, I am super excited about this because this matchup has a lot riding on it. All right, we ended the first round robin with a 1-1 record for each team, where the Black Bears won over the Red Pandas, but then lost to the Snow Leopards. And so now they're looking for kind of revenge and their first win in the second round robin, whereas the Snow Leopards is their first matchup. They won last time. Let's see if they can continue this streak again. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Team Stick Sparring League and kind of go over the rules once again. Stick sparring, we're going to have 6 matches today. Each participant will spar their counterpart 2 times, and the team with the most accumulated points at the end of it is going to be the victor. All right, a match is 2 minutes long, and the judges will call points based on who strikes in a legal target area first. All right, a legal target area being anywhere that is not the neck, the groin, or the non-weapon hand from fingertips to elbow. All right, that is a blocking arm, and they will stop the bout, award points, and then set them going again. Illegal actions would be hitting the neck or hitting the groin, which would be a point for the next person, as well as dropping a weapon will be a point for the other person as well. And that's that. We're going to get into it. We're going to have some fun today. Hopefully we'll be joined a little bit later on, a little bit late, by our special guest. And whenever that happens, we'll be introducing him. But until then, it's just going to be me. All right, so y'all get a whole lot of my voice today. I'm sorry about that, but we're going to have some fun anyways. We're going to kind of talk about some stick sparring and some matchups here. Now, I'm very excited about this match because, like I said, there's a lot riding on it. And I'm really interested to see because the very first coaches analysis video that we did after the Black Bears versus Snow Leopards, right? So I'm going to be really looking forward to seeing who actually went and watched the video and can adapt to their new in this new matchup and against their partner. All right, we've got Kinsey versus Liam. Last time Kinsey went very aggressive, and Liam, didn't really have a mix-up of style. He had his one game plan. We saw him go up against Spencer and start kind of mixing it up, coming at different angles, coming at different, moving that stick around and being a little bit more versatile. So let's see if he can make that even better up against Kinsey here, right? Where we have Rambi versus Rashawn. Now, Rambi, we're looking to hopefully see her use her range and use that reach to get past Rashawn's defense. And we all know Rashawn's defense is very, very strong, very, very good. And we're going to see if it's tested and if he can adapt once it's tested. Last matchup, we're going to have Logan versus Evan, which last time Evan came in very, very exhausted, man. You could tell at the end of the match just how exhausted he was, just how hard it was for him to keep going into that last match. And so now we're going to see how well his stamina is going to hold out, especially with last week him putting up a very good performance with Anakin. So, man, we got a lot of fun matchups. We got a lot of fun things going on. It seems as if, though, they are lined up and ready to go. So we're going to jump in the action pretty quickly. Boom, boom, and here we go. All right, so once again, we've got some fun going on. We've got them lined up. We've got a little bit of an order change today. Normally, we would be starting out with Liam versus Kinsey, but today we're going to start out with Rambi versus Rashawn. The reason being that Rashawn is going to have to leave out pretty early tonight, so you won't see him in the bout out. But to kind of get him, on his schedule, we're jumping him into the first match. All right, here we go. First match is getting started. Rashawn going in early, getting aggressive early. You normally see that from the other side. You normally see Rashawn kind of waiting, but he went in and got the point. Very good from him. All right. Some split decisions already. Rashawn's taking the lead 2-0 early on. Ooh, Rambi gets aggressive and unfortunately does not get it. Oh, man. I would love to see Mr. Lewis kind of step to the side a little bit more so we can get a little bit better view. but it looks like they're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. And, you know, we talk about this all the time, these kind of 50-50 exchanges is what I like to call them. All right. I like a more guaranteed strike. I don't like, you know, all right, we both swing. All right, we both swing, because of that, you never know what's going to actually happen or who's actually going to get the point and what the judges are going to see, right? I would like to see, you know, Robbie kind of use that range a little bit more. Use that length of hers. You know, you see him walking in, you see him coming in, you know, hit him from distance, especially with Rashawn having his weapon hand behind him most of the time. That typically kind of gives you a disadvantage. They're trading points back and forth. Let's see what we got. We've got a good lead, 1 point lead for Rashawn. And again, Robbie stepping in like way too close. The girl, you are tall. Be further back. Rashawn starting to kind of take a lead. All right, as they kind of do the same thing back and forth. Again, you've got to change it up. You got to change where that strike's going. Rashawn's obviously beating you to the punch. You've got to change it up. That same strike's not going to keep working. Getting a nice early lead for Rashawn here. Oh, and there we go. So let's see if we can get a comeback started for Robbie. We got about 10 seconds left. Got a good strong lead. A 6 point lead going on. Ooh, good. Oh, no calls there. And Rashawn gets the point at the end. Good first match. Black Bears taking a nice early lead, 7-14. 7 points isn't insurmountable, though. Kenzie, you know, with her aggressive style, can very easily bring this back. Let's see. The ball's in her court. Now, they were at a deficit. You know, the Black Bears are at a deficit, all trailing last match against the Red Pandas. So let's see if this is going to be a little bit different story with her. You know, ooh, beautiful start from Liam. You know, just kind of letting her come in, go for that leg. That weapon hand's in front, all right? And that Kenzie's weapon hand's behind her, so she's going to be a little bit late to all these exchanges. Liam's coming in. He's got 2 points. Here starts the comeback. It's 9-14, and Kenzie gets that one, though, getting aggressive, kind of catching Liam slipping, not kind of letting him set up into his defense, but just kind of blasting it forward. She's kind of changing up her grip and doing a little bit better about keeping the hand in front, but no points are given. Very split decision. Very good. Liam's doing pretty well here, keeping that, starting to kind of narrow that lead down. Great little flick fake, but it doesn't get him any points. Kenzie takes it 10-16. Still doing pretty well. Still have, you know, clawing back that lead. No points. That happens, you know. It's fun to, or I don't want to say it's fun. It happens on occasion whenever, you know, you're judging these rounds and you see a strike start or you see something start and you think it's gonna land. You're sure it's gonna land, and so you kind of already preemptively start saying break, and then it doesn't land. It doesn't work out, and oh no, we gotta drop weapon. But yeah, it doesn't work out. And so you're, oh, okay, my bad. I didn't mean to stop us. All right. So that kind of hampered Liam's small crawl back, right? That kind of, oh, that pay attention. See, this is where looking at the time or looking at the score can be detrimental, right? Kenzie blasted forward as soon as they said go, and Liam's head wasn't quite turned back from looking at the scoreboard, right? And no points. Good call. I think that was a good call. The buzzer went before the strike, so it definitely should have been a no point there. All right, so Black Bears are able to continue their lead. All right, as we walk into the third match, Evan versus Logan. There we go, resetting the clock. It's 22-10, a 12-point difference, 12-point leads for the Black Bears. All right, I see Kenzie now actually starting to kind of talk. I see Liam back there talking with Romby. Right, so now we've got some pretty good active communication coming from the senior members of the team. Huge 3-point jump strike to the head. When you get a jump strike, it actually adds a point to whatever's happening, right? So jump strike to the body would be 2 points instead of 1, but the head strike's the most valuable. It's worth 2 points. And so when you add the jump, you're getting 3 points. So easily coming back with these jump head strikes. Now look at Evan trying to keep that hand up and gets the point in. This is why I don't teach jumping. I say this every match. Every match I see somebody utilizing a jump in their sparring, I say this. I don't teach jumping because it's slow. It's very slow. And so, Evan's just swinging, right? He's kind of catching on to the jump now. Evan just swings where Logan's taking the time to jump, load up his jump. Oh, man, Evan is doing fantastic. He is keeping this lead. He had a couple early slip-up. Beautiful strike coming from Logan. I love that, turn around upward strike. That is one I was talking about for, I think, Kinsey last week that she needs to learn next. But that is a beautiful strike. He gets another one and swings from the back up to the head again, and Evan gets his point. So, when something's working, don't change it. And look at that. Goes right back to the leg, gets another point, and that's exactly what his team needs. Jumping up 20-26. Well, who gets it? No points there. We got a 6-point lead. Logan's doing a good job clawing it back. Evan's doing a great job of maintaining his lead. Gets the point there. All right, stuffs the leg shot. It looks like Logan's actually the one slowing down because he got it there, though. He made me eat my words right there. He did. It happens. Jumping does take more energy. So, whenever you're jumping and moving, that's a lot of energy that's being had. It's a lot of energy being expended. Black Bears continue their lead, though, 21-27. There's a 6-point difference. So now Romney's got a huge gap. And just like that, right for the second set of matches, we have Mr. Ordaz. Welcome to the show.
Hi, sir. How's it going?
All right, I'm going to give you a proper introduction afterwards. We're jumping into the matches, sir.
Sounds great, sir.
The Black Bears on the right, Snow Leopards on the left. Black Bears have a lead right now.
Wow.
It looks like it's continuing, sir.
Yes, sir. And how many competitors per team, sir? Sorry, I'm new to all this.
So we've got 3 competitors per team, and it's cumulated scores. So the Black Bears had a 6-point lead coming into this second set of matches, and that's where we're kind of at right now, sir. So welcome.
Fantastic. Wow. All right, I'm loving already. I've been here for 10 seconds. Already loving the amount of footwork that I'm seeing. They're doing excellent.
I love it. So you know how much I love footwork and how much I focus on footwork.
Yes, sir.
So my students
a little something, sir.
And then you used it against me in our last match.
I didn't want to make you upset, sir. I didn't want to I wanted to do you proud.
All right. So again, we're kind of continuing on what we saw last match. Romby on the left is the less experienced but the taller spar, and I would like to see her kind of use her reach. Now, you're pretty tall when it comes to our ring, right?
Yes, sir.
How does it feel sparring all of us shorter people?
Well, it definitely obviously has its advantages. If the taller competitors, they really have to take advantage because it's something that not everybody has at their disposal. They don't have maybe the arm span or whatever the case. So, it has an advantage for sure. Second thing is I have to make sure personally that I'm keeping up with my agility training and everything because I have to be fast enough to extend those longer arms, right? So there's pros and cons just like everything else. And, if I'm not prepared, someone could definitely come in and get closed in on me and score those points. So looks like that's what we're seeing here with this young man on the right. He's closing that distance pretty well.
Now, I love that point you just brought up. I talk about it, we have a coach's analysis show after this where we kind of talk about what happened in the match and give feedback to each contestant. And that's what I've been trying to tell for Romby's side. She's got to have that footwork too. And you just put it great. If you don't have the agility to keep up and utilize that reach, then that advantage is not an advantage anymore.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
So, beautifully put.
Yes,
all
sir.
Right. Now we have Kinsey on the right, Liam on the left. This is the older matchup, the older kid matchup. You had the middle group. Now we have the top group. And Kenzie's got a good lead coming into this. She's got a 12-point lead that she's got
Wow,
to
yeah, it's
maintain.
25-27. Oh, let's see if she can keep it and see if where the strategy comes in. I'm interested in that part, how they're going to strategize to try to maintain that lead and possibly build on it.
And see, this is where I've talked a lot in the past episodes where Liam's got to have another game here. He is a very good defensive spar. He's very fast on the defense, but like his offense sometimes lacks a little bit, and he's in a position now where he has to go in
To catch up. Yes, sir. Yeah, I feel like I can relate to that one, sir. I am very much the defensive sparer. But yeah, it's like I said, it's, strategy for sure, and and I can only imagine the stakes are higher having a team format. He's got to think about not only his particular match, but how it affects his teammates come rounding out the match or carrying into the next round.
Wow, they gave it to her. I thought for sure that was a head hit.
It was a very close strike.
Ooh.
Oh
no!
Oh no! Lost weapon.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah.
I think that's the second time it's happened. Now, what was really funny, sir, is the last time these two teams sparred, I think there was a total of 6 drop weapons. And I don't know what happened that day. I don't know who put butter on all the sticks that day.
You keep some duct tape in storage, sir?
Should have busted it out for that one.
Absolutely. Wow. And what's the young lady's name on the right, sir?
That is Miss Kenzie.
She's really moving there. I love to see it. She's aggressive. She's using her space defensively as well. I know she wasn't quite fast enough on that one, but the mindset is definitely right there.
So what's fun about Kenzie is she is the least experienced here right now, or I don't want to say out of her group. She's going up against 2 black belts where she's only a camo belt.
Wow.
Surprise. However, she's been doing our Friday night sparring since she was a white belt. So like she has been sparring with like me personally, Mr. Hyatt personally, and so like she's been able to advance very quickly.
Wow. Yes, sir. Yeah, it looks like it for sure, and that's I think that's a great point for not only for her, and I'm sure some of the other students and families inside your school can take that home with them too. It's you've got to put yourself in those uncomfortable situations to improve, and it looks like she held her ground very well in that match.
There's still
paying off.
Absolutely. There's a very big lead, but if anybody could get it back, it is Logan here. So we have Logan on the left for the Snow Leopards, Evan on the right for the Black Bears, and
nice jump strike.
Unfortunately, it wasn't seen by all the judges, but that's what he was doing in the first round.
Yes, sir. I love it. These guys are that's one of my favorite things is watching some of the younger students. They have all that energy and they're jumping, they're moving, and they're not afraid of anything. And that makes the most dynamic matches for sure.
So these two have only been sparring for, I would say, like 2 months now. They have not they have not really been, but like because of this, they've been jumping up their game and they've been really working.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and it's fun to see their evolution.
Yes, sir, for sure. And so, just curious for how this format is. Is there a ranking limit, or are all your students allowed to participate?
So we don't have a rank limit.
Okay.
So and this is good for anyone at home. What we do is we try to pair them up by our perceived skill level. So age and rank aren't a huge factor. It's partly a factor. Oh, he dropped it on the swing.
Twice in a row. Oh, no.
And that was such a clear point, too, for him. Unfortunately, when you drop your weapon, you can no longer score points in that bout.
We made up for it right there.
There we go. Still clawing back. Still got a long way to go. But to finish out the question, sir, so we put them in groups like that, and then we did a I don't want to say a tryout, but a placement. Where they all came in and sparred everyone in their group and then evened out the teams based on those results.
Yes, sir.
Now he's getting some points back here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It looks like these kids have some understanding from the 2-3 competitors I've seen so far. Great understanding of like their body movement, which we've been talking about that a lot in my own studio. A lot, especially with my higher ranks, it's not just like moving your full body, but those little finer tune movements, moving your head back just enough to not get hit, and then counter striking. That's what's going to bring these guys to the next level.
I always like to describe it as distinct movements, being very intentional with those kind of movements, with your evasion, with your strikes. Not just swinging for the fences or anything.
Right, absolutely. When you get
So
those white belts in there with the combat stick for the first time, that's
exactly. So that wraps it up. The Black Bears take their victory this time, making their
5-1.
record in this second round robin 2-2, winning 2, losing 2, getting revenge on the Snow Leopards from last time.
Excellent.
What an excellent set of matches.
Yes,
we're going to bring you in here, sir. Welcome. All right, here we go. Here's our proper introduction. So for those of you at home watching, this is, again, a kind of odd introduction. Most of the time I'm introducing my longtime friend. Me and Mr. Ordaz haven't been longtime friends. We've actually only been friends for about, 3-4 years now?
Yeah, just a couple years, sir, since we I think it was the Tallahassee tournament. Yeah. With Grandmaster Westbrook, and you were doing a fantastic job kind of organizing all the rings and everything, and you looked all official with your earpiece. I was like, oh, who is this guy?
The earpiece. Absolutely. Yeah, so this is what I love about martial arts is even though we've only known each other for very few years now, like we've already had, grown this, in my opinion, fantastic, friendship just from beating each other up a couple times a year.
You beat me up so good, sir. I drive 4 hours to come and do it at your school.
Hey, you took the win in the last one. So y'all know, Mr. Ordaz is a 5th degree black belt from Jacksonville, Florida. One of my very, very good friends. One of my competitors, and one of my don't tell anyone else that said this. One of my favorite competitors because I don't think there's been a match that me and you have had against each other that has not gone the distance. Like 3 seconds left, tied, or 1 point difference. It's always so close between us, and one of us edges out the other on occasion, and it's always super fun. So please, at home, give a big round of applause to Mr. Ordaz.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate it, and I appreciate you giving me the invite to be here, sir. I'm sorry I came in just a little bit late there. We got classes going on at the moment, and
absolutely,
I try my best to get away. Everybody wants my attention, so no, thank you, sir, for the invitation, and I'm super pleased to see the level of sparring that I just witnessed. It looks like your students are taking your lessons and then really applying it, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that, sir. So here, while we're here, though, let's talk a little bit. Tell us, do you have we kind of said it a little bit, but do you have a style that you like to go for? Like, do you have a style in stick sparring that you like to kind of approach?
I like to think of myself as kind of like the tricky person, because
I'd agree with that.
Like you mentioned earlier, I do have a kind of sort of a height advantage in a lot of cases, and I don't always show it. So I keep my body kind of enclosed. I keep everything kind of close together, and then it's I try my best just to get that quick snap and really get my opponents to misjudge their distance. So
yep. Say more, sir. Say more. All right.
Yes, sir.
Taking my notes.
So, oh, you're telling so I try to be kind of the tricky person that's hard to pick up on my range. I don't like people to know what strikes I tend to go to, so I try to mix it up and everything, and don't give my opponent a routine to follow as far as how they spar me.
I love it. I love that answer because with some of my high-ranked sparrers who are, going to be going to competition, hopefully, and competing at globals this year, that is exactly what I'm telling them is if you can make your opponent unsettled, right?
Yes.
Constantly questioning what's about to happen in this exchange, then you get such a big advantage on that.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
And so like you said, being tricky, that's a great way. And you are extremely tricky, sir. So that's why it's so much fun to spar you because of those aspects. Now, you talked a little bit about your school. Whenever you are, let's talk about, we have some beginners in here. What do you like to really cover for beginners whenever you're really getting into stick sparring?
So one of my favorite things, and it's funny you ask because we actually just did it today with our family class. We had quite a few white belts in there today, and some of them never used a combat stick before, and it was a blast getting to work with them and everything. So one of my personal favorite things, and I think it is truly helpful just for understanding what's going on with your body, understanding mechanics, is what we like to call our loading positions. So I wish I brought a combat stick with me, but I'll just use my hand. So, for example, setting yourself up for whatever strike you feel is appropriate. So, if I need to hit someone in the head, right at the top of the head here, in order for my stick to come down on the head, it has to first come up, right? It has to come from a higher position and down.
Right.
So, what we kind of show our students is, again, beginner level is high load position. Your stick is here if your target is going down
Down.
that way, right? You
Yeah.
need to strike down on it. Um, and there's 9 different loading positions that we teach: high load, shoulder loads, working one from each side, coming down like at waist level, and then a little bit close to the floor. And obviously everybody kind of understands what's going on up here, but when you start showing them how to get low to the floor and lowering your center
Hmm.
of gravity, and that's where that trickiness aspect, that's where it really comes in. Once they start understanding that you don't always have to just go like this or always like this when you're striking, those jab strikes. You can hit from different directions, different angles, different heights of the body, and so the loading positions are a great way to kind of introduce all those concepts. And obviously it's a lot, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of packed a
Yeah.
lot of information into one thing, but once they understand how to move, you can start opening the door to everything else.
Now, I love that terminology, loading positions. Like I love that terminology. I've never
Yes, sir.
heard it that way. We have it to where we do what we call guards, right?
Okay.
And we have 4 basic guards that you play out of, right? And it's kind of that same idea is setting up the stick and setting up the position that that you want to strike and that you like to play from.
Yes,
But
sir.
the loading position I mean, it goes right along with it. And I really like that terminology. That's awesome. I might steal that from you, sir.
I think yes, sir, absolutely, and I think that's one of the great things about you extending the invitation is we can exchange these ideas, and your students can hear from, I'm not trying to hype myself up or anything, but they get to hear from another instructor who's teaching across the country, and what their take on it is, and
Oh, don't worry, sir. I'll hype you up for sure.
uh,
Don't you worry about that.
yeah, so uh, I would love, sir. Obviously, we're doing this today and everything, but through competition, our students get to kind of see each other's styles and kind of
Yeah.
adopt things, and I think that very much helps the individual with their personal growth and their training.
Well, sir, you know what? Like, we're gonna have to have you back on here to talk some more because already, your insights have been fantastic. We are gonna wrap up our show though.
Sure.
This has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on and catching the last half of the matches
Yes,
and just
sir.
sharing some of your knowledge with the PMA community and our
Yes,
students.
sir.
It's
I'm
very
happy to do so,
valuable.
sir.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. That's going to wrap it up here for us today. Make sure you join us. We have our next match next Wednesday. For those of you watching on YouTube, make sure you check the coaches analysis show that's going to be uploaded along with it and kind of get a little bit more in-depth look at the matches that we saw today. We'll catch y'all next time.
Yes, sir. And for those of you at Peak Martial Arts, you guys are super lucky to have this guy as your instructor. So guys,
Thank you so much, sir. I
train
appreciate
hard
it.
over there and do him proud in your next combat weapon sparring matches.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate the words.
Sir.